Oh, hey, what's up, everyone? Have you ever had a bad friendship before? Well, I have. It was several months ago. I had this idiot friend. We met when I was going to community college. I mean, he seemed to be a cool guy, but in the end, he started to get on my nerves. Like he would always want me to hang out with him all the time, or go to his house, or he would call me every day and ask me to pick him up at the library every day at like 2 o'clock, and that always got on my nerves and started bugging me. So I would like make up something and say, "Well, you know what, man? I got things to do. I'm busy and I gotta work." He'd say, "Oh, okay." So, anyways, he'd always want me to come to his house every day. So I did that one time, and I got kind of sick and tired of it, and I really didn't come over much anymore. And like if I didn't call him all the time or hung out, he'd get mad and upset, and he wouldn't understand. I have things to do, and I can't be right up under him all the time. So, I have things to do, and I got a life, and he always want me to drive him around like I'm his freaking chauffeur, and like the dude's like 23 years old and don't got a freaking driver's license, which I think that's not kind of normal. I think that's kind of dumb. I mean, wouldn't you think? But I mean, he was cool, and I mean, he was a good friend and everything, but he just started to annoy me, and he would try to, you know, change who I am, and one thing that's really stupid, and I'm sure everyone might think this is stupid, but he always had a problem with me having a beard. Now, I told my girlfriend, I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone, like, this was like 3 weeks ago, and I told her, and she was like, "What?" And she was like, "Man, that's stupid. What's wrong with him?" I'm saying, yeah, I mean, there's something wrong with this guy. He needs help. If I want to have a beard, or if I want to look a certain way, I will. If he doesn't like it, then that's not my problem. But I guess he had a hard time accepting that, because I mean, me and him, we're just two different people. He's more like a pretty boy, like a finicky, feminine pretty boy. He always pampers himself all the time, and me, I like to just be myself, have a beard, or there ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, but I mean, we just two different people, and I ain't gonna change who I am. And if he can accept that, then that's not my problem. But it doesn't really matter now, because we're not friends anymore, and which I'm glad anyway. He always got on my nerves, and I mean, I don't think it really, I really don't think it's fair and all, because like when I first met him, I accepted him, but I accepted everything about him, but he can't accept a few things about me, which I think was kind of ignorant and just stupid. If you're gonna have a friend like that, everyone, my advice to you is don't mess with them. They're annoying. They're not worth it. And I mean, I know it's kind of bad, but I mean, I can do better. Finding new friends. But yeah, that was a really a bad friendship. And I knew to myself, through the friendship, maybe halfway, that it wouldn't last any longer, because he started to really get on my freaking nerves. I mean, if I had something to do, if I couldn't come over, he'd cock a freaking attitude with me, and I just have to let him know, I like to be able to come over to your house every day, but I have things to do, and I gotta work, and blah blah blah. And he seemed not to understand that, and like that saying, you gotta repeat yourself to get someone to understand. It's like you gotta sit down with them and hold their hand like a freaking child and explain. Like when if a child does something, and you gotta sit them down like 2 times, and so they'll know it was a no-no. That's how I felt, having to talk to him. I had to sit him down like a child and just explain. He said, "Look, dude, if I cannot hang out every day, and I can't come over all the time like you want me to, I can't, because I have things to do." I mean, that's nothing hard to understand. I mean, anyone can understand, but if they can't understand, then they're not really a real friend. And but yeah, he just he was sending me bad emails about me having a beard and blah blah blah, or the way I dress. But there's nothing wrong with the way I dress. I dress better than he did. But yeah, he would always want me to take him places all the time, and like I always had to waste my gas because you have to understand gas ain't cheap. But I got kind of sick and tired of that, and I don't know, but I'm just glad I'm not his friend anymore, and would I do it again? Would I be his friend again? No, I would not, because I've learned of who he is and what kind of person he is, and I mean, he's annoying. He got on my freaking nerves. But yeah, he always expected me to do things that he wanted to do, and I really didn't want to, and but I think it'd be better if he had his own freaking car to drive and his own freaking license, so I wouldn't have to drive his suckish, self all the time everywhere, because I'm not a chauffeur, But yeah, he would call me all the time and blah blah blah, want me to come over and do things with him, and I can't all the time. I mean, I got to, sometimes. But yeah, it seems that he has a hard time understanding. He doesn't really understood. He didn't really understand me. But what I think is really stupid. He would just try to change it. Change who I am. And I mean, like, you can't change people. They're going to change if they want to. They feel comfortable. But I'm not going to change myself just to please someone, so they will accept me, and I'm not going to get someone's freaking approval, because I'm going to look and dress the way I want to look and dress the way I want to dress, and they don't like it. I mean, that's just too bad. That's just who I am. And one time he had a friend. He wanted me to meet his friend, and he wanted me to shave my beard off. And I did it. I shaved it off. Because I mean, I didn't do it. I didn't do it for him. I mean, I did it because I was kind of tired of having it, and I had it for a while, and I want to just have a little change. And when I met his friend was just like him, but except his friend is, he was kind of the same way, kind of like a pretty boy, finicky type, kind of like a girly boy. And I mean, I'm saying they're not my people, but whatever. But anyways, if you had a bad friendship, or if they're not, they're just not worth it, and it doesn't make any sense. Why have a friend that why have someone that they're going to try to change you, and so you can get their damn approval, and so they can accept you? I mean, why who would have a problem with someone having a beard, or the way they look, or the way they dress? That's none of their business. If you're going to be my friend, you're just going to have to accept, even if we're just two different people. But I'm just glad I'm not his friend anymore, and I can do better. I've had better friendships before in my life. That's the only bad friendship experience I've ever had, and that's just the only bad friend I've had. And about the calling part, like if I didn't answer my phone, and if I like called him later on, or he called, or if I answered it, I would say, hey man, did you call? And he said, yeah. Why didn't you answer my call? And I was like, well, I was busy. And he would like have this stupid, in his voice. It would sound like, oh, okay, like he didn't believe me or something. And that really got on my freaking nerves too. But I mean, there's no need for him to flip out just because I can't answer his phone calls every second. I mean, shit, this is a friendship, not some boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. I mean, wouldn't you think that's what a girlfriend would do if, she called and you didn't answer your phone? She had a tizzy, and because you didn't call or anything. I mean, we're two guys here, not me the boy, not him the girl. But whatever. I mean, we're not friends anymore, and who cares, man? I'll meet some better friends, and like I've said before, I've had better, friendships, and I didn't really care for him towards the end. And another thing, he would always want to borrow money from me and say, hey, can I have like $40 to eat or something? Or every time we went out to eat to like Chinese buffets, I would be the one paying for the freaking meals all the time. He never paid a freaking cent out of anything. I always bought the damn meals. And like I'm like saying, man, like, do you have a job? Or I guess his parents must have gave him allowance. But I mean, he told me that his dad always gave him $20. But the thing is that he would always spend his allowance on video games. And like, I'm saying to myself, like,